What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Today we're going to be filming a video that is it's very sad. It's a touchy subject. We're going to be discussing the New York bombing, terrorist attack that happened, I think, yesterday, a couple days ago, something like that. I'm not for sure when it happened. I just heard about it today. I don't try to stay on social media a lot, so I have some notes here that I just looked up. So we'll start this out by saying our thoughts and prayers go out to the people in New York, and I would say the family of the terrorist, of the bomber, but the family wanted to accuse police of heavy-handed tactics. So they kind of just paint a picture to me that they're terrorists. The whole family's terrorists. You know, you can't accuse police of doing something wrong when your son's trying to kill thousands of people. He was in the wrong, the police were in the right. Don't accuse the police of doing something wrong when they didn't. So, he was a Bangladeshian man from Bangladesh, and weapon of choice was a pipe bomb that he strapped to himself. He was going to be a suicide bomber. Luckily, I guess he didn't know how a pipe bomb worked and couldn't get it to detonate. That's from what I found in my research, and mostly because he's not dead. If the pipe bomb detonated, I would say he would be dead, and he's not. So he was inspired by ISIS. And I saw something on the news, I think either earlier this morning or yesterday evening, I can't remember, but I saw something on the news that says there are plenty of, all 50 states have acts of terrorism happening in them as we speak. There are investigations of terrorism in all 50 states because the younger generation, the younger population of the world sits down and watches these videos on YouTube that ISIS makes. I'll talk about that in a separate video because that's a problem on its own. But they watch the videos and convert into Islamic, I guess you could say, but they don't convert into a natural Islamic. They convert into a radical Islamic, which is a terrorist. He was angered by U.S. policies on the Middle East. So, I don't know the policies word for word, but I want to say that our policies on the Middle East are real lenient. They're allowed to govern how they want as long as they're not acting under terrorism, and we're over there taking the terrorists out of their country. So, I think that's a pretty lenient policy. He entered the U.S., this is the biggest part, by the way. He entered the U.S. by a chain migration visa. I don't know what the fuck a chain migration visa is. I need to look it up. But my opinion on a chain migration visa is, why the fuck would you let a terrorist in this country?
The hell?
Like, I'm on Donald Trump's side when he's saying that we need... Will you point the camera towards me and quit pointing over here at the freezer? Anyways, I'm on Donald Trump's side with all of this shit, you know. He tried to place a ban on countries where the higher terrorism acts are. I agree with that 100%. We need, you know, higher vettings and stuff like that. That's Attorney General Jeff Sessions called for an end to the chain migration visa. There was a whole thing that he recited. I wasn't about to write that down and recite it word for word.
Is that the combine?
Yeah. In my opinion is we need stricter vetting policies and more bans placed on terror regions in the Middle East and other countries. We need those bans that Donald Trump put in place and got lawsuits filed against him for putting in place, we need those bans back. It would decrease our terrorist attacks drastically. Uh, all of our ISIS-inspired terrorists, except for one, I'm going to rephrase that. Out of all the terrorist attacks I've heard of that's happened this year, only one of them was an American that I've heard of. I need to do my research and figure that out. But the rest of them came from Middle Eastern countries. So my point is we need stricter vetting processes for families that are coming from these Middle Eastern countries, and even Canadians need to be vetted stricter. We just, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families and victims in New York. But as far as that family goes, accusing police of heavy-handed tactics, that's bullshit. As a cop protecting my city, if I had a terrorist trying to blow up my subway that had thousands of people in it, I'd probably shoot his ass and kill him. I wouldn't tell him to drop the bomb. I wouldn't give him that option. I would drop his ass where he stood. But that's my opinion. Feel free to disagree. Thanks for watching. I love you, and see you next time.